In Crimewatch tonight, a doorstep molester who preyed on young women in Woodlands. And a heart-tugging housebreaking story involving a mother and her child.
Hi, I'm DSP Teo Ziming. Welcome to Crimewatch. Between January and March of 2009, 12 women in Woodlands were stalked and sexually outraged just as they were about to enter their homes. The attacks were brash and sudden, and in nearly all cases, they happened at night. Watch how the police track down the elusive perpetrator, also dubbed the Doorstep Molester.
It was about 10 p.m., the usual time Maria, a sales coordinator, would be making her way home from work. It was an evening like any other, except that unknown to her, someone had been watching her. The attack was sudden, and from the way it was carried out, it seemed premeditated. Maria immediately made a report to the police. Norazmin Yap from Jurong Police Division Headquarters was the investigation officer.
From what I remember, he was wearing dark singlet and checkered Bermudas, and he seems young, I think around 20s.
What about his complexion? Dark or fair?
Actually, he's Chinese.
If you were to see him again, can you recognize him?
I think I can.
Maria is our latest victim. She was molested at night. The other victims were Chinese or look like Chinese. They are all staying in Woodlands and they are all wearing short skirts.
Now the cases has the similar modus of operandi, which is attacking the victims at their doorsteps.
Looks like we're dealing with a serial doorstep molester.
Yes, I agree. The suspect seems to be wearing the same wardrobe, wearing black singlet and checkered Bermudas. Let's continue to conduct more inquiries on the ground.
As the incidents all occurred in around the same vicinity, I.O. Norazmin and his team carried out checks with residents while at the same time kept a lookout for the suspect.
Hello, good afternoon. The officers from Jurong Police, We'd like to check, have you ever seen a male Chinese wearing black singlet, checkered Bermudas, about 20 over years old?
No.
No. Okay, thank you.
No one could give any clue as to who he was. The field inquiry was complemented with checks on persons fitting the description given by victims.
Okay, Mr. Chia, thank you so much.
The description of the culprit was also disseminated to other ground forces so that they could also keep a lookout. Someone who usually donned a black singlet and checkered Bermudas when he looked for his prey. Crime advisories were also put up at void decks of flats to notify the public of the molester at large and to remind the public to immediately call 999 should they come across the crime in progress. Female residents were advised to be vigilant and alert. Despite these multi-pronged measures, in less than a month after the last incident, the elusive and bold doorstep molester struck again. This time, he was even more daring and changed his time of attack. He struck in broad daylight. On a fairly crowded Saturday afternoon, Angeline least expected anyone would stalk her. Soon after Angeline had entered the lift, a young man showed up. He first monitored the lift to see at which floor it would stop. In this case, it was the 5th floor. Immediately, he raced up the stairs to catch up with his intended victim. Unknown to him, his presence at the lift landing had been captured on CCTV. Once again, the attack was brash and unexpected. Though she was stunned, Angeline remembered the crime prevention advice and managed to catch a good look at her attacker.
Police?
Angeline, can you describe the person to me?
He was wearing a black singlet and a checkered Bermudas, and I think he's a Chinese.
Did you manage to see his face?
Yes.
when he was running down the stairs.
If you were to see him again, can you recognize him?
Yes.
After the break, the police put a stop to the Doorstep Molester.
All MRT stations in Singapore have CCTV cameras installed. Today, there are about 6,000 cameras already in operation. These have been part of the SMRT's video surveillance project since 2004. With more than 1 million people riding the trains every day, these cameras are crucial to enhance safety and security at the stations.
CCTV recordings from about the time when Angeline arrived at the station was recalled and scrutinized. Among a stream of commuters, Angeline was spotted. She was being followed by a man wearing a dark sleeveless top and checkered Bermudas, the same kind of clothing the molester would don when he preyed on his victims.
This was taken at Admiralty Station on the 7th of March at 1502 hours. Now you compare with this. Same day at Block 762. Right? Taken at 1520 hours. Which means the suspect took 18 minutes to get there from Admiralty MRT Station.
From what I know, it's slightly more than a kilometer between these two locations. Sounds plausible to me.
Yes, and what's more, both the images are showing the same person.
With the image at hand, the next challenge for Io Norazmin would be who he was and where was his place of residence. Io Norazmin immediately reworked the taskings and reorganized his team for this challenge. The hard work paid off. Soon they narrowed down the Doorstep Molester as a 22-year-old Chan Wei Xiang, a student at a private school. Victims who had told police they could recognize their attacker were invited to a photo identification session.
That's him. He's the one who attacked me.
Are you sure?
Yes. He's here.
With the positive confirmation that Chan Wei Xiang was the culprit, Io Norazmin and his team were ready to arrest the bold Doorstep Molester.
I didn't do anything, I swear.
But we have witnesses.
You're lying.
I need to check your room.
Go ahead. Sir.
Are these yours?
Yes.
Wei Xiang, you're under arrest.
The clothings were found in the suspect's bedroom. They fit the description of those worn by the Doorstep Molester. Maria, the only victim who wasn't available to attend the earlier photo identification session with the investigation officer, was promptly invited to Jurong Police Station for an ID parade.
There. That's him. Number 4.
Number 4, one step forward.
Are you sure it's him?
Positive. That's him.
Wei Xiang, the victims have identified you to be the person who molested them. What do you have to say? Why did you do it?
I had a good relationship with my girlfriend. And then suddenly she left me. And when she left me, I felt very bored. How to teach these girls a lesson?
How do you choose your victims?
I mostly choose Chinese girls. Those that wear short skirts.
What did you do?
I follow them from the MRT to their doorsteps. And then when they are about to open the door, I go behind them and I touch them.
Chan Wei Xiang was found guilty on 12 charges of using criminal force with intention to outrage a person's modesty. He was sentenced to 26 months imprisonment and given 3 strokes of the cane.
Despite being elusive and changing his time of criminal act from nighttime to day, after the lookout notice was circulated to the community, the Doorstep Molester could not escape from the long arm of the law. Through perseverance and determination and the good information coming from the victims, Io Norazmin and his team of investigators from Jurong Police Division Headquarters were able to solve the case within 3 months. To avoid becoming a victim, Always be alert and attentive to your surroundings. If you suspect that you are being followed, don't panic. Stay calm. Proceed to the nearest location where there is a crowd or other people. Contact the police at 999 at the earliest opportunity. Avoid taking shortcuts, especially if the shortcuts are dimly lit and secluded. When coming home late at night, ask a family member to wait at the bus stop, car park, or lift landing to escort you home. Should you be molested, lodge a police report immediately. Provide details, distinct characteristics such as height and any unique features, and the clothing donned by the culprit will be helpful and useful for officers to solve the crime. Remember, holding off lodging a report may embolden the criminal. Finally, as important evidence may be left on the victim's clothing after an offense, where possible, it is recommended that clothing items not be washed so that it can be seized for evidence if necessary. If you find yourself in a similar situation as Chan Wei Xiang in this police file story, or if you know someone with such an inclination, do contact the following helplines. Take proactive steps for help before it's too late.
After the break, a mother makes her young daughter help her commit burglary.
Welcome back to Crimewatch. Criminals, whether they're thieves, scammers, or loan sharks, will usually find others to help them in their crime spree. By law, people, young or old, who are accomplices to a crime are as culpable and are liable to face criminal charges. In our next story, the accomplice in the break-in was a minor. She was only 10 years of age when she was asked by her mother to help commit the crime.
Chia Sui Lian, secretary of a private club, arrived for work one morning and discovered the premises had been broken into.
Police?
Mohammed Shawal from Ang Mo Kio Police Division Headquarters was the lead investigation officer. He was assisted by Mark Liu. A scene of crime officer was at the crime scene to uncover as much forensic evidence, including the presence of fingerprints. Damage to property would also be recorded and entered as evidence.
$11,000 gone just like that. Why must this happen? Second time in 1 month.
Was there a break-in previously?
No break-in. It's this new employee. She got into the jackpot room and took the money. After that, she disappeared.
Does your club have any CCTV camera installed?
We have many. There's one outside, I'll show you.
Fortunately, a CCTV camera was installed and mounted above a wooden door gracing the entrance of the clubhouse. The doorknob was damaged, an indication that it had been forced open by the burglar. Though obscured by the night, the footage revealed two persons arriving at the entrance of the clubhouse at about 11:30 p.m.
Boss, she's the one who stole the money from my jackpot room. That's the one I was telling you about.
We can't even see her face. How do you know it's the person you're referring to?
I don't need to see the face. I can tell that thief anywhere. And she's now back to rob me again.
Who is she?
I think Mr. Wong is referring to Ng Bi Hong.
Yes, Bi Hong. She told me she has 3 young children and she needed money. I pitied her and gave her a job.
Bi Hong was offered a job as a cashier at the club. Her work involved exchanging customers' cash notes for $1 coins. On her first day of work, Bi Hong was tempted by the cash that was entrusted to her.
Bi Hong, this is $752 worth of coins for you to change for the customers. After closing, remember, count all the money before putting it in the safe over there. Understand?
Yes, Mr. Wong.
Good.
When Mr. Wong returned later that afternoon, Bi Hong was gone. Not only that, his money at the cash counter were all gone.
Here's the application form Bi Hong submitted. It has a particular seal.
I'll run a check on her.
Okay. There was another person who was with her. Do you know who she is?
I got no idea.
Ng Bee Hong's registered place of residence was Whampoa Drive. I.O. Mark Liu was immediately tasked to proceed to her home to find out more.
Is your ex-wife in Bee Hong?
Yeah?
Is she staying here now?
Leng Chun Tek was Bee Hong's ex-husband.
When was the last time you saw her?
Yesterday afternoon, when she came and see my eldest daughter.
So where is she now?
What are you doing down there? Policemen looking for you, huh?
Eunice, how often does Mommy bring you out?
Mommy told me I'm her favorite. Sometimes she take me out shopping or watch a movie.
Just you and your mother?
Yes.
Did you go anywhere special last night? Where did she take you?
Took me to a clubhouse.
What clubhouse?
Calm down, Mr. Chun. Eunice, if your mother took you to a clubhouse last night, we need to know what happened.
Nothing happened. Nothing happened.
Whatever it is, your mother needs help. We are here to help her.
I.O. Mark further elaborated to both Eunice and Leng Chun Tek that in order to prevent Bee Hong from committing more crime and getting into more serious offenses, there was an urgent need for the police to locate her.
Go on. Tell the police officer what really happened.
Tell us, Eunice.
Mommy's here. Don't be scared, okay? It's okay. It's okay. Come on, let's go. Mommy's okay. Mommy's okay. Eunice, Mommy's doing this for you, for Titi and Mei Mei. Do you understand?
Then why must you break the door?
Eunice, after this is over, Mommy will get you a big reward, okay? A big present for your birthday.
Out of bond and sympathy for her mother, Eunice stopped querying and continued to assist her mother with her criminal deeds.
Quick.
What's going to happen to Mommy? Is Mommy going to prison?
Eunice, do you know what your mommy did was wrong?
Yes, I know and I'm sorry. But please don't send her to prison.
If you know where she is, tell us.
Tell the officer you know where Mommy is.
Staying at Telok Blangah.
Where in Telok Blangah?
Block 76 Telok Blangah Drive.
I.O. Shawal was promptly updated, while I.O. Mark Liu was still with Eunice and her father at Whampoa Drive. As Eunice was not able to state the exact address where Bee Hong was, a team of officers was immediately dispatched to Telok Blangah to coordinate with I.O. Mark Liu at Whampoa Drive. Along Telok Blangah Drive, one of his officers spotted the suspect. She was heading for Block 76.
Police. Bee Hong, open up.
The police are here. They know it's...
While I.O. Shawal was persuading Bee Hong to open the door at Telok Blangah, Eunice offered her help to get her mother to open the door. Knowing the close relationship between Eunice and her mother, Bee Hong's ex-husband agreed that he and his daughter would go with I.O. Mark Liu to persuade his ex-wife to give up.
Mommy! Please come out!
Eunice!
Is it worth it or not? Cool down. All right.
When it was clear that Bi Hong was not positive to her daughter's begging to open the door, and that there was a man with her to persistently dissuade her from doing so, Io Shawal decided to go for other options. After both the daughter and father had left the scene, as permission was needed from the higher authority to allow forced entry into the house, Io Shawal provided a quick appraisal of the situation and the need to use force to break open the door to the Deputy Head of Investigation of Ang Mo Kio Police Division Headquarters.
Ma'am, suspects are locked in. We need to force open the door. Permission to activate SOC?
Permission was obtained from the Deputy Head of Investigation to break down the door to arrest Bi Hong.
Stand by to break it.
The officers from the Special Operations Command were activated when they were about to deploy the mechanical method of entry, in short, the MMOE. Ah Liang, who had been dissuading Bi Hong from opening the door, heard the electric saw and decided to give up.
I surrender.
Open the door.
Turn around.
Slowly move back.
Come on, police!
Ng Bi Hong, who was pregnant at the time of her arrest, was charged with criminal breach of trust, housebreaking, and theft offenses. She was found guilty and sentenced to 26 months imprisonment. Police investigation also revealed that Bi Hong was on more than one occasion pressurized by her boyfriend to give him money, and as a result, she resorted to committing some of the criminal deeds. Bi Hong's boyfriend, Lim Liang Huat, was charged and convicted of dishonestly receiving stolen property and sentenced to 3 months imprisonment. Eunice, whose real identity is withheld as she is a minor, admitted to abetting her mother. A case was brought to the attention of the Attorney General's chambers. The Attorney General, after review and in view of the circumstances of the case, decided that no further action would be taken against her.
Eunice is currently attending primary school and undergoing counselling. For club owners, it is important that the key to the safe should be properly secured and not left unsecured, say in a drawer and easily accessible by all staff. The key should also not be kept within the premises overnight. The combination lock number to the safe should be changed regularly or whenever there is any staff turnover to avoid unauthorized access. Well, we've come to the end of Crimewatch. If you have any query or feedback, do drop us an email. Until next month, I'm DSP Teo Ziming, signing off.